There is a new meta coming from Rage of the Abyss. Big dog, this new set is bringing some really exciting cards, and today I'm going to be breaking down some of the most impactful cards and strategies you're going to have to look out for this Yu-Gi-Oh set. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. And if you guys didn't know about days, today is Update Monday, a particular time where we talk about something to not only better you as a player, but more importantly, to better you as a person overall. Today for Update Monday, I'm pretty sure I've already said this before, but I think it's a perfect time to reiterate it. Look towards the future. If you guys didn't know, roughly about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a disease basically that's nothing like arthritis. To put it in layman's terms, my immune system will continuously attack itself, and then oftentimes we go through things called flare-ups, which can get really bad and deteriorate your bones. You know, it's not as bad as it's as bad as it sounds. As a completely healthy 80-year-old man, I never thought that I would have been put in this situation. But one thing that happened in that particular situation is that I looked towards the future. I knew that sooner or later there was going to be an important time where I would look back at this particular situation and know that it helped me for the better. I became a stronger person because I got to connect with you guys. And that's just pretty much how life goes. You're put with some really awkward situations, but if you work and build upon those situations, looking towards the future, when you finally get to that point, you can look back and be like, damn, I'm a dog for coming out like how I was. I mean, look at me. Look at me, R.A. who? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about these future meta Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Some of these strategies have already been pretty good in the past, but now this particular Rage of the Abyss set can put them over the top. And I'm going to be breaking down the new cards, the new ways, and everything you need to know about these particular strategies. So let's go ahead and start off with the elephant in the room, the deck that no one really wants to go against. Azamina is insane. To break it down, Azamina is a fusion-based Yu-Gi-Oh strategy that uses Sinful Spoils spell and trap cards to be able to fusion summon monsters. It's almost like monsters are becoming spells and traps, and now spells and traps are becoming monsters. Thank you, Konami. This is typically done through Sacred Azamina, which can be searched through Sinful Spoils Deception, and you're probably already getting the gears turning. Since Deception is a Sinful Spoils card, it can be easily searched through Diabell Star the Black Witch. And since original Sinful Spoils Snake Eyes has an effect that can activate in the graveyard, returning that Diabell Star monster that you use for Deception's effect to get Azamina only simply means you can fusion summon to almost whatever Azamina fusion monster you want. Now, there are 4 different Azamina fusion monsters, but the most important ones is Azamina Arcelago. I know for a fact I'm butchering this name. It gets you an Azamina or a Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. This gives you even more opportunities to get into the exact cards that you need, and also means that you can search Deception and Original all in one turn. Then there's Azamina Ria Silvera, which can negate any card effect your opponent uses by tributing itself. Yeah, I was hoping that it was going to be Azamina, not Pick Your Azamina. Now, the other Azamina cards are pretty good, but to be honest with you, these 4 cards are combined in an engine and are often played in decks like Snake Eyes, Yubel, Chimera, and even Whitewoods. It essentially gives those strategies an Omni Negation, a way to stop cards like Nibiru the Primal Being or a Clutch Ass Blossom without even using your normal summon. Whoever thought that banning cards like Appaloosa, Baron, and Warlord Savage Dragon only to make a card that serves a similar function, I just want to talk to him just for a second. Just, you know, me, my bat, second. But Azamina isn't the worst of your problems right now. What should be is the new Fiend Smith card. That's right, I said card because cards would be deceptive to you. We're going to ignore the Fiend Smith Link 3. It's trash. Terrible. Not good. I mean, to be real with you, it's not bad. It's just not necessary. And we're going to talk about Lacrima the Scarlet Shadow. When she is summoned, she allows you to be able to send 1 Fiend Smith card from your deck to the graveyard. Now, Blue Eaters may immediately go to Fiend Smith track because it does have a graveyard effect to fusion summon, but the card is so much better than that. Guys, it is a light fiend monster that can be normal summoned to your side of the field. If Chimera players were doing tricks on it just to get a dusted gold to their side of the field, then Lacrima should be like everything. Lacrima Scarlet Sorrow solves a huge problem for the Fiend Smith engine. Ever since Fiend Smith Lacrima the fusion monster was banned, it became incredibly hard to put enough light fiend monsters in your graveyard to be able to easily summon Fiend Smith Desiree. But now, instead of just using Requiem to summon Fiend Smith Engraver, you go straight into Lacrima to send the Engraver, and you'll have enough fiend monsters. When we go to our respective sneak premieres and we start opening up packs of Rage of the Abyss, I think that these should be the cards at the top of our mind. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some other crazy good cards. Just like how Memento has been proven itself as one of the top strategies in the game and is getting just one card to make it even stronger. I mean, technically more than one card because this deck played the Fiend Smith engine, but I digress. In Infinite Forbidden, the meme team got Memento, Sleep, and Teklecula, cards that allow you to be able to fusion summon as well as get into your resources. By the way, I'm going to be calling this deck the meme team from now on. In Rage of the Abyss, the meme team is going to get Akron, which is, oh my god. Like, can they stop giving this deck more broken cards? Akron, when summoned, allows your level 9 or higher memes to attack directly. So right now, there are exactly 2 memes that can do this. Memento Teklecula, the Creation King, the fusion monster that I just mentioned. It's a respectable 3,000 attack, so it's a blue eyes white dragon punching you in the face. And then there's the meme team Teklecula Combined Creation, who's 5,000 attack. Big dog, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since it came out, and never in my life have I even heard of a card that can attack directly and has 5,000 attack. Just another one of those strategies that could potentially end the game before going into the extra deck as much and doesn't necessarily need to special summon from the deck. That's not how the memes work. If you guys have not jumped on the meme team's bandwagon, I think right now is the perfect time, as this deck is primed to be one of the strongest strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down, if it doesn't do even better than what it's doing right now, I might just quit the game. I mean, it's called the meme team. Rage of the Abyss is all about water support. And what's really weird is that I haven't mentioned a single water card. I mean, unless you count meme team Akron, it technically is water support, right? It's not. But I think that it's really important that we start mentioning the water support is because they can be deadly. I think Mermails, Sharks, and to an extent, both Ice Barrier and Marine Cess get huge in this particular set. The Ice Barriers in Marine Cess is not as obvious, so let's start off with the obvious. Mermails got some pretty ridiculous support. It actually is one of the most supported strategies in Rage of the Abyss. Abyss Shrine to the Atlantean Spirit is crazy because it allows you to add or summon a Mermail or Atlantean monster from your deck. It also allows you to banish itself on your opponent's turn to discard a card and draw a card. If you don't know anything about Mermail Atlanteans, anytime you see discard a card, you should get your bonkers bonking. Not that bunker, the bunker up here, maybe. But it also allows you to be able to summon monsters like Atlantean Dragoons to be able to make that Bahamut Shark and then eventually that Totally Awesome, something that the OCG doesn't have. It can also summon out Atlantean Infantry, which gives you an additional normal summon. So that's just food for thought. Then there's Mermail Atlantean Shadow Bodyguards, whose effect allows you to turn all your monsters to 7. That may not seem like much, but it does come up. But then when it is sent to the graveyard to activate a water effect, it can summon a level 4 or lower Mermail or Atlantean monster from your deck. Holy! This is one of them ones. In case you guys aren't old like me, Mermails have had quite a few things in their arsenal. 1, going second, breaking boards and OTK. 2, hand looping. 3, Totally Awesome. Now, strictly just because of these 2 cards, the deck can do all 3 of them to a modern day level. It's gonna be ridiculous what we're gonna cook up in the kitchen for Mermails, and I got my max rarity Mermail deck. I am flooding right now. No diddy. Now, sharks on the surface level may not seem that threatening, and it's mainly because land sharks have never really been that threatening. But because this time the sharks are enraged and coming from the abyss, I think that they'll be even more powerful. All right, I'll stop with the jokes. Sharks got some pretty good support in servicing Big Jaws, which almost acts like an unshaven angler, for the difference of this card can be used as a 5 as well as a 4, fitting the theme of most shark cards. It can also be treated as a 3 as well. I almost forgot that. Also, when it's summoned, it even gets you a shark monster from your deck to your hand. So hello to another starter. A buzzsaw shark couldn't have been doing all the heavy lifting on his own. Something had to cut it, and I'm so happy that this card does exactly that. Drake Shark is another card that is also ridiculous because if it's added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it. It's almost like there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card that just got limited on the list that had a similar effect. It was a Populous Ice Snake or something. So basically, while not getting a plethora plethora of cards, Shark did get some really good cards to fix one of its biggest problems: consistently getting level 4 monsters that can be level 5 and level 3 to your field, because we already know how the armored cards roll. They've always been dangerous. And to wrap this up, there's also Mimighoul that got some crazy, insane cards. I'm pretty excited for most of these strategies. I actually want to take the time to thank Konami for not completely butchering the TCG exclusive support and actually progressing Mimighoul a little bit further. Now, I talked about these cards in length on TheCaliEffect clip, so you can go ahead and check it out. But to give you a quick breakdown, Mimighoul got a way to be a lot more consistent, as well as put bodies on the field during their turn. The new Mimighoul monsters can be special summoned from your hand to your side of the field, as well as your opponent's. And the Mimighoul Exceed monsters make getting into your Mimighoul cards a lot easier, while providing some really good disruptive effects. I still think the strongest variant of Mimighoul might just be Mimighoul Kashtira, because when you force your opponent to use the Mimighoul effects of their own, you get to trigger the effect of your Kashtira monsters to be able to banish cards on the field and go through their extra deck. Rage of the Abyss offers a ton of strategies that can be implemented inside of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm actually going to be doing a tier list to break down all of the strategies that were affected, so don't worry if I didn't mention your deck. Be prepared for tomorrow. Of course, until then, big dog, you already know what to do. Drink water, hug your family members, and check out these videos so I can catch you on the next one.